Hello, my lovely friends. With broken heart, I am apologizing you for this today's false start with live class. I don't know what happened. My phone actually refused to cooperate with me, and I couldn't perform the class. And this is my own fault purely. I haven't been live for a while, and last time, well, actually 3 days ago, I was having live class over the Justine Hovey channel, but she was like maintaining the whole connection. I just click on the link and join in, and today when I was trying to do it on my own in exactly the same way as I was doing like maybe year and a half ago, it just wasn't working. So clearly it's time for me to invest in some, I don't know, software or better camera or something. So in the meantime, I can only apologize you now. What I have today, and I will record it as kind of his live class would take place to give you the maximum of the knowledge I can give you in this specific topic, because I think this is important. We often do beautiful cards. I do have a couple examples here which are a little bit more bulkier. They're not just flat. And what do you do with the card like that? Like, how would you mail them? How would you give them to someone? I thought this is worth exploring this topic, and I come up with a couple ideas. Well, we're gonna do two today, and if you are interested, I can show you another one, maybe like next class or something. And there's definitely more solution how you can post and give it to someone, and especially with the beautiful cards like that. This is such a lovely card. It would be just a shame to just give it like that, or just toss it in a white envelope. When you spend additional extra 30 minutes or something, you can easily make it a gift on its own. Two things I want to tell you, my friends. If it comes for postaging, see, there are all types of the flowers. Maybe I'll grab another one. I'll forget later, so I'll just tell you straight away. I love making flowers, and there are different types, like foam flowers, like this delicate paper flower, and then there's this sturdy one. When you know you're gonna be creating something for postage, I highly recommend you to create paper flower rather than something soft, because if that gets compressed like in the post, you can secure it, but then there will be another parcel, another letters on top, and that gets squished. So by the time the card will arrive at the recipient, this is gonna be disaster. I do have a class with the watercolor paper flowers. These one, actually, this card I created based upon the Cardmaking Stash Summit video, but I do have my own classes. Where's the other one? I can't see the other rose, but I do have lots of paper roses, and once they dry, because you wet the paper, this is really firm and sturdy, and that will survive postage, like no problem at all. Another thing I want to tell you is that this is a trick whenever I create the card. When you have like a maybe smaller cards, I don't know, something like that, and you put them in the envelope. Do I have matching envelope somewhere? Oh, let's see. No, that's the card. And there we go. Something like that. It's always worth, and I do it quite often myself, that I trim my card. Like, the card is like here, so I'm just trimming it 2 millimeters from each side, so that way whenever I place my card in the envelope, I actually have a little extra room. So all this extra dimension from all these elements, that could easily go through the mail. So that's two things I want to tell you. And now let's jump on. I also have this freebie, and I mentioned on the newsletter that is freebie. I added to my Buy Me a Coffee page for £1, and then I was planning to give you the link during the live classes. I will link it in the video description down below instead, because I don't have, there's no live classes going on, but my plan is to treat you with the freebies for taking a part in the live classes, so that way you have some sort of reward for joining joining, for, you know, being here with me. So I'll give you the link down there as well. Now, and let's move on to our project. So what I have here, this is this I do in blue paper, and here, because I'm gonna be making envelope, I actually print the decorative paper on both sides. I think this is such a nice feature, especially when you work with digital papers. You can print them double-sided, and that way you don't have to dress up your card anymore, because they already dress up inside outside. So here you can actually, you know, place some focal point, and here you can add the piece for wishes, and that way, instead of, you know, creating all the layers, you can have everything at once. Now, we're gonna be making envelope at first, and let me just quickly show you. So for the first element, what I like to do, I always place my element on the scoring board, and this is one tool you actually need to have today, and maybe trimmer as well, or some guillotine, something to cut, but you can skip that if you don't have guillotine. Scissors, maybe ruler and pencil, and that's all you really need. No fancy tools, no specialty dies, nothing is needed. Now let me just put that away. And what I like to do, I'm always starting from what is my measurement, and I think that here I have 1 1/4 like card, so I'll do like maybe 8 1/2, so that will be a little extra room here. So what I need some sort of the flap first. So let's say I'm gonna put my flap at 1 inch. Oh, I'm gonna turn it upside down because I'll be folding this way. So I'm putting 1 inch here, then I'm placing my card, so that will give me maybe 9 1/2, maybe 9 3/4, 9 3/4. I'll better have additional extra room, so that way I will have, you know, I won't have to struggle with postage. And then 10 3/4, this is where I will cut. Okay, so I need to trim this this piece here. Where is my guillotine? Oh no! Oh, there it is. I thought we have another struggle. I was like, oh no, I lost the guillotine. Okay, so this is the first line, 1 inch our space for the card, and 1 inch flap, and I'm just chopping it here, so teeny tiny bit this time. And then this piece is coming back on my scoring board. And what do I need? I need a flap here. And what I will do, I think I'm gonna leave like a smaller flap, not 1 inch but 3/4, because I want to have a maximum space here for my envelope flap. So I'm doing a scoring line at 3/4. And my friends, don't be too much thinking about the sizes, like the measurements here. I just want you to kind of focus on the method. So what I'm doing here, it doesn't matter whether you have this card, that size card. I would be doing exactly the same thing with the card. The best idea is to always grab your finished card and then work around it, so you have the chance to see yourself, like, okay, 1 inch flap from each side. Then here I could do 1 inch, but then I have very little for my flap, so I'm just turning it into 3/4, and that is fine. And now what I will do, maybe 6 1/2. I'm just checking. Basically it's all about checking if you have enough room for your card to fit in. So I'm quite happy with 6 1/2 inch, and this is what I'm gonna do. Here we go. So here 6 1/2 inch, and I'm having this rectangle here, and then 3 little flaps and 4 large one. So next step, what we need to do is we have to trim all these corners, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I like to do for my flaps, I just cut them under the angle. And very important thing, when you cut under the angle, make sure you're not touching this corner here. This have to stay intact, because if you cut past the corner, you will have the hole in your envelope. I mean, it's not super important, because it's gonna be teeny tiny hole if it happened by mistake, but just to be aware that you don't want to pass this corner of scoring line, because then you will have this little hole visible. Okay, and I'm cutting this one under the angle, and this very last flap, which is the largest one, we're gonna cut straight, just as the scoring line is. Here we go. If you don't like hand cutting, you can use the trimmer as well if you've got the sliding one, but it's such a small distance really that you can do it in your hand. And look on that, we have something like that. We've got 3 flaps, and it's gonna be more clear once I will score them back. Like, I will fold them accordingly to the scoring line, and you'll see the thought behind this envelope. And this is what you do exactly with all your cards. You decide like how much thicken flap. I would not go small than 3/4 of the inch, 1/2 inch maybe, like if you've got very little paper, but you want to have at least something to, you know, hold it here. And then look on that, I'm putting my card in. It has quite enough room, because I left it like, you know, good, like a, I would say, how much room I left, let me see, it's around 1.5 centimeter or 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch I would say, bigger. So this is 1/2 inch bigger on the length and on the width, so that way when it's folding, it's having enough room to actually you know, I'll fold this one first because I don't want to press it on the card. So if you have this 1 inch 1/2 inch space from each side, sorry, that way it's enough room to actually fit your card. Now there's something missing here, so don't worry, we're gonna work on it just now. And what we need to do, and this is just a one-sided paper, there's no point for cutting for printing this one on the other side, because this one, it's not gonna be visible. Now what you do, you just want to measure this piece just like that, fold it and then measure it. So what we have here, I am just placing it like that. It's 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. So this is what I need to cut. Now my guillotine is way too small to measure it. It doesn't have this extra extension. So that's one extra tip I can give you. If you buy guillotine, make sure you buy the one which will hold the whole 12 by 12 or A4 size paper. So where was I? 8 3/4. So this is what I will do. 8 3/4. I will create myself a line, and now I can cut accordingly. Okay, just like that. And then it was 5 3/4, but this one, oh, it's right enough. How lucky I was. It fits in. But if it wouldn't, I would just go back with the scoring board and make myself a mark. Okay, so we've got 5 3/4, and I'm just trimming it like that. Keep those 2 bits, you can use them later on for something else or for a card. And now we have something like that. If we adhere it just like that, it would be very hard to take card in and out. So what I like to do, you can grab any circular object, whether it's like a ball or dice. If you've got the dice, you can cut it right away. But if you don't, you have to use something to trace. Now, very important thing. See this flap here? You don't really want, like, if it's gonna be the end of your work, you don't really want this you know, opening to go farther down, because then you will end up having a hole. So what I like to do, I am putting my paper upside down up till the creasing line, and then I am just creating myself a little mark like that. Here we go. So that way, when I put my ball or something to trace, I know exactly that I cannot pass this line. So my opening has to be like that. Is that even in the center? I don't know. Let's say it's sort of even. And then, what is it? 4 centimeters almost. 4. Yeah, that's pretty even. That's fine. Even if it's a little bit moved towards the other side, it's not gonna be as visible anyway. No one will notice. Everyone are focusing on opening envelope to take the card out, so that's one thing for sure. If it's a little uneven, don't stress, because no one will notice that one. Okay, now I'm following the pencil mark like that, and I have beautiful rounded opening to you know, put on my card. I like to take off the markings, even though it's not gonna be much visible, but if someone look through inside the envelope, you don't want them to see pencil marks anyway. So very simple thing. All we have to do is to join these pieces together. What I like to do in my work, I always start from the bottom bit. Don't do all of 3 at once and then put the glue, and then, because 3 at the same time, because if it's uneven, you have less control how to fix it. Now I'm starting from adding my adhesive on this bottom flap, and what I like to do, I am putting liquid glue. I prefer liquid glue because it will bond way better than the double-sided tape. And my friends, you have to smear your glue all the way down till the scoring line. So make sure that the adhesive is actually touching here, all the way here, because if you're gonna have a gaps, you will have this you know, gaps visible on your envelope. I'm placing it flat, and then I am gently adding my card, trying to make sure it's nice and even. And if you're uncertain if it's super even, you can put it back, fold it, and then go way back. So you see, you align the edges, and now you go back and you press from the center. Always try to press from the center outwards, because if you start from one side, then you're gonna have a lump somewhere here. But if you pressing from inside outside, you have more chances to kind of smear it out, and all uneven parts will go to the sides. Okay, what we do next? Now for the next part, I have a piece of the card here. Will that fit? Yes. Always have some spare piece. This is something I grab right before the live class is supposed to start, so I could have some security. Now don't put the card once you're gluing, because if your glue will ooze out, you will end up having the ugly mark here, and this is something you don't want to have. You work way too hard for your beautiful card to get destroyed last minute. On the last step of your creation. And again, what we do add the glue on this side, but you also have to add the glue on this inside edge as well. Why? Because if you don't do it, then your paper may catch up. Like, you know, you're gonna be putting your card in and out, and all the embellishments, they could, you know, catch on this edge when it's not adhere properly. So again, I am smearing the glue. I have my additional layer to catch up any oh, I almost put the flap. Oh, Marta. Okay, and we're folding it, and then once we fold it, we're kind of making sure that the ends are meeting nicely. And then if you have some loose space here, this is the point, like, you know, don't try to iron it back, so you will have some room for your card. Okay, so let me just put that in practice, right? And we have beautiful card which is just closing. Now this is what you can do when you postage. You can add some address and you're good to go. However, there is a way when you can actually make it even prettier. See where are those two strips which we just cut it? Oh no, where do I have it? Marta. Oh, underneath my guillotine. Okay, so you see we've got two strips, and one of them, this one, is matching up the width of our card. So what you can do, you already know the drill if you watch the Justine Hovey live classes, well, my classes on her channel. You know I love to play with the punches, and because I have this beautiful design here, I've decided I'm gonna repeat that one. And what I will do, my friends, I will start from, oops, creating myself a little line in the center, so I know that I'm right in the middle, because I want it to be nice. So we are at 8 3/4, which is divided by half, that's 4 3/4, so that'll be 1 3/8. I think that should be the part here. And if I'll turn it upside down, yes, we are in the center. Okay, so I am just making myself a little mark right in the center of this paper on one side, and then I'm starting with my corner punch. I mean, I do have the similar design, but this one is way more condensed, and I quite like this opening loop which are created from the corner punch. So I am placing my punch here. Okay, here we go. And then we're gonna do another one just right next to it. So we're just needing those corners to meet these triangles, and once they're there, you just press one more time and one more time, and each time I am putting my paper all the way down, even though I could technically squeeze it like you know, half an inch closer to the edge, but thanks to that I'm pushing the paper all the way down. I have this even line, like you know, it's nice and straight, because if you start trying to eyeball it, then your line, it's not gonna be as straight. Okay, last bit here, and now we go back, we do exactly the same thing. Here we go, and then another one and another one, and this last half somewhere here. Okay, that'll do. And look on that, we've got this beautiful design. All we have to do is just grab an eraser, if I have it somewhere. Yeah, that's it. And then just get rid of those markings, because you don't want them to be visible. And now what we can do, I don't like those bits sticking out, so I will just round them up just like that, because that will be only catching, and I think it's just looking nicer that way. Now we are taking our envelope and we're just gonna adhere this one here, so that way we end up having the same pattern repeat on the envelope too. So what I like to do here, I'm adding the glue towards this bottom edge, and then I am adding the glue on this bottom edge, like you know, on the edge on the envelope. That way I don't have to figure out how much, where to finish adding my glue. because I have the glue on both sides, and whenever I decide like, okay, I like it this way, I can then just press it down, and there's no, you know, no confusion that I have more glue oozing out or something, because I have it on both ends. And now, whoops, I've put the glue, and now just press it down firmly, and look on that, beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous, having the same little piece? And now, last but not least, what I like to do, let me just grab a piece of the white paper. We're gonna do the piece for the address. So how do I like it to be? Large, small, something like that, and then maybe chop it like that. Okay, maybe a little bit shorter. So you can print the address if you're gonna be posting it, or write it down for who this card it is, and that way you can turn the card very easily on the beautiful gift. Now, to finish off this card, I'm gonna use my corner punch, just like that, and this one, I'm gonna put it like here. By the way, did you knew that the corner punches having those little extra bits? I was using my punches for a couple years. I don't know, maybe couple, like a good year, maybe like year and a half at least, and then I find out that this is actually opening. How silly it is, but I love my punches. And to be honest, I had a break using them. I don't know, once, I think it's most of the crafters is going through similar process. Like we starting when we don't have die cutting machine, we're looking onto some other options, but then you find and explore this beautiful, like, you know, world of die cutting, that the punches are going back. And because we were moving, I had to pack all my possessions, like everything in my craft room, and shipped over to Poland. And when I was unpacking, I just fell in love with my punches back again, because this is so nice. I just have all this memory. Now I am putting the glue on my hand, because my friends, if you're gonna be posting the label like that, you really need to secure these bits. And that's way too fiddly to, you know, trying to put all the glue there. But if you don't secure the corners, and that will go through like some scanning machines or something, and the corners will be loose, that can easily get ripped. And last thing you want to do is to create, is that even? Okay. And last thing you want to do is just to spend hours to create this beautiful work of art. I've put too much glue there, but... and just, you know, get destroyed because the label got ripped. So make sure that you actually secure all these edges. Now let me grab a piece of the paper to take off the glue, and I think we are at half an hour. So what I'm gonna do, my friends, I do have another solution for you, but I will turn this one into one video, and then I will go back and record another one as another video. So that way, if someone is having less time, you could watch one at the time. But if you want to see more, if you like to see more, then you can watch both of them together. So this is my beautiful envelope for sending and hand mailing, you know, beautiful cards like that. It's a little bit bulky, but I don't think it's super, you know, thick. Everything depends, like if it's too thick, you can actually, you know, reduce the layers here. But that way, if you will send someone the gift like that, this is a beautiful gift on its own, and it doesn't really need anything else. You can pre-print or handwrite it if you've got this nice, you know, handwriting style. And then you've got the card, and then you can create some gift card pocket or something like that. And maybe this is what I would do. If I can recommend, I would probably put a piece of the paper here as well, because I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let me know in a comment. But I don't like, whenever I have this card done from all sides, I think it's just looking not nice when it's undressed on the back side. And don't forget your name as well, your logo. So that will be me for this first part of the video, and the second one will be coming shortly. So thank you so much once again. Apologies for this live oopsie earlier on, but that way I hope I can transfer the same knowledge. Unfortunately, you cannot ask the question during the video, but if you have any more questions or anything you would like to ask, please write it down in a comment. I'm always here to help you, and if there is something you would like to ask, definitely write me down a comment. So that will be me for now, just now, and I'll go back to record another video in a minute. So stay blessed and bye bye.